How's it going? Welcome to my video. Okay, so my van is not cranking at all. Had to deliver some stuff. Uh, had to move some stuff actually to storage, and got to the storage place, got all the stuff out, put it in storage, came back to my van, and tried to turn this thing on, and nothing happens. It's not cranking. I can hear my blower motor working. The radio came on. They're not on right now because I don't want to drain the battery, but all the lights on the dash work. Everything works, but my van is just not doing anything right now. It's like I'm hearing a click. So I was like, okay, I gotta troubleshoot this. I turned the headlights on and I went out and tried to see whether it's the battery that's low or not. And the lights are pretty bright. So I didn't think it was my battery because my lights were pretty bright. So I'm like, okay, I can't be 100% sure on that. So I opened the hood up and I noticed that the terminals were corroded. There was like a lot of whitish, bluish stuff on there. So I took out a wire brush and cleaned off the terminals, clean off the terminals on the battery, clean off the terminals, the connectors from the car, put it back on, and try to turn it on, try to crank it up. It wouldn't crank, still hearing a click. Now, granted, this battery is like 3 years old. I really haven't had any issues with the van at all, except for a flat, maybe like a month ago. So, I was thinking maybe the battery needs to be changed or whatever. I don't know, but I had a jump pack that I bought from Harbor Freight. It's charged to 75%. It should jump it. Put the cables on. Try to jump it. Try to crank it. Nothing happens. So all right, it's probably not the battery. I actually double checked the ground wire, and the ground wire was good. So it wasn't the ground, wasn't the battery. No connections as far as issues that would be causing this. So I was looking around. I was thinking maybe it's the alternator. Now my van wasn't running at all. It was not running at all when, when it shut off. It didn't start. And I shut it off normally, put the stuff in storage, came back, tried to turn it on. But if you guys don't know anything about the alternator test, it's like this. If it's the alternator is causing your vehicle not to start, once you jump it, it should start up and run as long as you have the cables on. Once you take the cables off, it'll die out. So I knew it was in the alternator. I knew it was in the starter. So I was looking around some more. I mean, I knew it wasn't the alternator. I mean, it could be the starter. I don't want to think it's. I mean, that's not the first. That wasn't the first thought on my list. But I'll tell you why later. So I was thinking, moving on to diagnosing this issue, I was like, let me check the relays and the fuses. Maybe a fuse blew or something like that. Or maybe the relay is messed up. So I took the cover off the relay, the fuse box. Looking at the relays, I found the starter relay. So I'm like, I'm going to swap out another relay that's in the fuse box, a similar relay, same wattage number, whatever, and I'm going to see if that actually changes anything. I took it out, swapped it, tried to turn it on, nothing. I do still hear a click. So I was like, okay. Normally when you hear a click, it means that there's actually electricity going from the battery to the relay to the solenoid. All right, if you don't hear a click, then you know that's a relay problem. I really didn't need to test that out, but I did anyway just to make sure. And it wasn't the relay. I was 99% sure it was a relay. So I was looking at the fuses, see if there's any blown fuses to, No blown fuses that I could see, but that's not really a good. You'd have to take all of them out, and I mean, if I had a fuse tester with me, that's what I would have done. Did not have a fuse tester with me, so wasn't able to test all of them out. I was able to look at all of them from eyesight. Didn't look like there was anything burnt to me. But uh but recalling the issues that I had with starting problems as far as it relates to fuses, I would say that I've had two issues where a fuse caused my car not to start. One time, the I wasn't getting any kind of electricity inside the car whatsoever, and it turned out that it was the main fuse that connected the battery to the fuse box. And that was the reason why I wasn't getting any electricity to the car whatsoever. All right, once I changed out that fuse, I was getting electricity, car started up, no problem. But that's not the situation, because I'm getting electricity to the car. Everything works. The remote works. Everything works, except it's not cranking. It's just not cranking. So I was like, okay. That's not the case here. All right. The other issue I had with a blown fuse was it would crank up, the car would crank up, but it just wouldn't turn over. And it turned out, I think it was either the fuel pump fuse or the ECM, the car's computer fuse that was blown. Swap that out, it cranked over. But that's not the situation with this van, because it's not cranking at all. It's not cranking at all. That's the problem. So I mean, I couldn't tell 100% whether, it was a fuse or not, but I can pretty much, diagnosis wise, I can pretty much say it was not the fuse that's causing this issue, which leads to the last thing, which would normally be close to the top, which is the starter. All right, I've had starter issues before. It sounds like a starter issue, but here's the thing. I changed out the starter on this van like 7 months ago. That's why I didn't put it all the way on, that's why I didn't think it would be the starter, because 7 months, I mean, that's nothing, right? 7 months, that's nothing. But I did buy a refurbished starter. All right, the starter that I bought was a rebuilt one from AutoZone, fully guaranteed lifetime warranty or whatever. Bought it for like $175. If you guys don't know anything about rebuilt stuff, rebuilt alternators, rebuilt starters, normally if you buy rebuilt stuff, what happens is when they rebuild it, the only part they changed out is the part that's broken. Like the rest of the starter or alternator, they'll clean up however they do it to the point of brand new, but they won't replace it. So whatever the rest of the parts are on that alternator starter, it's got the same mileage as whatever the car had when it broke down, except for that new part they put in, which sucks. And I think that might be the case here. I'm not 100% sure, but I am waiting for AAA to pick my van up, and it's gonna be a couple hours before they come. So I'm making this video. I'll be hanging out here, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated. So I was I was able to get the car towed, and that was my last tow with my AAA membership, and it's only May. Hopefully, that would be my last tow for, like, I don't have to get my van towed for a while. But it took 2 hours. I got it towed back, and I did some tests on the starter. Well, I did pretty much all the tests. Went through the relays, went through the fuses, went through the battery, and getting to the starter, everything was good except for the starter. So what I did was I actually put a positive line from the battery to the solenoid on the starter, hoping that the starter would make some kind of noise or turn or something like that. Nothing. I hear nothing. So at that point, I knew that the starter was the problem. Took the starter out, went to AutoZone. I wanted to get a brand new starter, but I was going to shell out $300 for it. So they gave me a replacement. Popped it in, and guess what? It started right up. And it's been starting right up without a problem, without hesitation. So the whole entire time it was a starter, lasted me 8 months, that starter. And I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that this starter lasts me a lot longer than 8 months. Hope it lasts me longer than 8 months. But it is what it is, guys. I mean, I don't want to put the time in to work on something that I worked on 8 months ago, especially a part that's fairly brand new. But it is what it is. If you guys are in the same situation, you know, this has helped you guys out. Please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please comment, guys. All right, take care.